Positivity is not simply an emotional response. It is a mental command, a conscious directive to your mind and spirit to stay aligned with your higher vision no matter what. You do not wait to feel positive. You decide to be positive. And you do it especially when life gives you reasons not to be. You work. That is when your decision matters most. Anyone can smile when things are going well. You work. But those who rise to greatness are the ones who train themselves to smile in the face of adversity, while they watch you work, knowing that their energy is the very thing that will shift their circumstances. There is a force inside you that becomes active only when you maintain a state of expectancy, belief, and gratitude. When you force yourself to stay positive, you unlock that force. It's not something that comes from motivation videos or temporary hype. It's a result of repeated mental training, of telling your mind what to believe until it listens. Your thoughts become habits. Habits become patterns, work, and patterns build your future. So when the day feels heavy, when the results don't show up, when the support you hope for isn't there, what do? You lean harder into your decision to be positive. You remind yourself that the outcome is already on its way, but it requires your belief to be sustained. Every negative thought is a withdrawal from the account of progress. Every positive thought is a deposit. Which account are you funding today? You see, staying positive is not about ignoring reality. It's about shaping it. You shape your reality with the energy you bring to it. Walk into a challenge with fear, and that fear expands. Walk into it with courage and optimism, and those qualities multiply. Your energy introduces you before your words ever do. And people, opportunities, results are drawn to that energy. Positivity is a magnetic force. It attracts progress, it attracts clarity, and it attracts resilience. One of the most powerful tools you have is the ability to visualize a positive outcome even when none seems possible. The mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. It responds to what you feed it. So feed it strength, feed it hope, feed it vision. When you visualize success, your body begins to align with that outcome. Your actions begin to follow. Positivity, then, is not just a feeling. It is a fuel for decisive movement. Do not underestimate the compounding effect of small positive actions. A single moment of gratitude can change your entire day. One encouraging word to yourself can shift your emotional state. One focused breath in the middle of chaos can reset your perspective. These are not small things. They are weapons. Use them. Practice them. Master them. You work. Because the world is full of noise, pressure, and distraction. Only those who intentionally program their minds for positivity will stay the course. You work in a world that profits off your doubt, your fear, and your frustration. Choosing to stay positive is a radical act of power. It means you refuse to be manipulated. You refuse to be controlled by negativity. You are leading your life, not following it. That is the mindset of a winner. That is the path of transformation. Every day you are faced with two voices, one that urges you to shrink, to complain, to dwell on what's wrong, and another that pushes you to rise, to believe, to speak life into your goals. Which voice wins? The one you listen to the most. You work. That's why you must train yourself to give more attention, more repetition, more energy to the voice of positivity. You must force yourself to do it, because the default voice, the one shaped by fear, doubt, and past failure, is louder by nature. But being loud does not make it right. You work. It is discipline that makes the positive voice stronger. When you understand that your life moves in the direction of your dominant thoughts, you begin to see the urgency of mental discipline. You begin to recognize that every complaint, every self-pitying thought, every fearful assumption is pulling you in the wrong direction. And in contrast, every thought of gratitude, every visualization of success, every affirmation of strength becomes a step forward. Staying positive, then, is not just a good habit. It is your strategy for success. You work. It is how you win the war before the battle even begins. Force yourself to speak words that serve you. Speak them when you're tired. Speak them when you're discouraged. Speak them when you don't believe them yet. Because repetition builds belief. And belief builds identity. Every time you say, I am capable, even when you feel broken, that's progress. Every time you say, I will rise, even when you feel low, that's power. This is how the strongest minds are built, not in moments of comfort, but in moments of resistance. You work when you choose your higher self anyway. It's not enough to try to stay positive. Trying leaves room for negotiation. You must decide. Decide that you work, that your mind will not be used as a dumping ground for negative influences. While they watch you work, decide that your energy is sacred and your focus is limited. Too limited to waste on things that don't elevate you. Decide that your time is too valuable to be spent doubting your worth or rehearsing your pain. And once you make that decision, build a structure around it. Morning routines, empowering declarations, focused reflection, and goal setting. These are the bricks that build the fortress of a positive mind. One of the greatest advantages of staying positive is the clarity it brings. When your mind is not cluttered with fear and negativity, you can actually see the path forward. You notice opportunities that negativity blinded you to. You recognize solutions that pessimism would have made invisible. Watch you work. In this way, positivity is not just emotional. It is highly practical. It improves your decisions, strengthens your relationships, and increases your consistency. Understand the quality of your thoughts creates the quality of your life. If you don't control your mind, something else will. Fear, anger, society, past trauma. But when you take that control back by consciously choosing positive thought, you reclaim your direction. You reclaim your identity. You become the leader of your own destiny. And that, more than any external achievement, is the ultimate victory. Positivity is not a feeling that comes and goes. It is a discipline, a mental conditioning, a habit that must be formed and reinforced every single day. You work. Most people believe they must feel positive in order to act positive. You work. But those who succeed at the highest levels of life understand that it works the other way around. You act positive first. You think positive first. And only then do your emotions align with your intentions. This is why you must force yourself to always stay positive. Not because life is easy, but because it is difficult. And in the face of difficulty, your attitude becomes your armor. Your mind is the control tower of your destiny. If your thoughts are flooded with worry, self-pity, doubt, and negativity, your actions will reflect that weakness. But if you feed your mind with thoughts of victory, confidence, gratitude, and purpose, your actions will reflect that power. The man who waits to feel good before he moves will always be outrun by the one who moves regardless of how he feels. That is the mark of greatness. You work. That is the beginning of transformation. Every morning you wake up, you are presented with a fork in the roading. You work. You can choose to accept your circumstances and surrender to them, or you can choose to rise above them and create something new. You work. Staying positive doesn't mean ignoring the reality of pain or pretending that everything is perfect. You work. It means acknowledging the struggle and still deciding to respond with strength. It means looking hardship in the face and saying, "You will not break me." The world will constantly present you with reasons to complain, to quit, to doubt yourself. The news, your surroundings, toxic people, past failures, they all whisper the same message. It's too hard. But your job, your mission, is to replace that message with a new one. While I've been through worse, I will rise again. I will not stop. That message must become a command that you repeat to yourself day in and day out until your subconscious believes it with every fiber of your being. You work. Think of positivity like a muscle. It grows through resistance. The harder life presses against you. The stronger your mind becomes when you decide to stay in control. And just like physical training, mental conditioning requires repetition. You work. You must speak to yourself with clarity and conviction. You must visualize success when the world shows you failure. You must expect progress even in the midst of setbacks. And you must do this daily, because the world is relentless while they watch you work, and only those with a relentless mindset will overcome it. Staying positive doesn't mean you'll never have doubts. You work. It means you don't let those doubts take root. It means you replace fear with action, anger with understanding, frustration with patience. While they watch, it means you use every challenge as an opportunity to sharpen your focus and deepen your discipline. Work. When you train your mind to see opportunity where others see defeat, you become powerful beyond measure. So don't wait for positivity to find you. You must generate it, create it, protect it, force it if you must, because your future depends on your ability to lead your thoughts. And in leading your thoughts, you become the master of your life. There is a law in the universe that governs every outcome in your life egg. While they watch, your mind is the initiator of all things. What you think, you become. What you dwell on, you move toward. They watch you work. What you allow to dominate your inner dialogue eventually becomes your external reality. You work. That is why you must force yourself to stay positive. Not once in a while, not only when life feels good, but especially when it doesn't. You work. Because the test of your mindset isn't how you think when the sun is shining, but how you respond when the storm clouds gather. Negativity is subtle and seductive. It often starts small, a complaint here, a doubt there, but left unchecked, it spreads like poison. You work, one negative thought breeds another, and soon your entire world begins to darken. That's why you must be aggressive in your defense. You must treat negativity like an intruder in your home. Don't tolerate it. Don't entertain it. Replace it immediately with something that builds you instead of breaks you. Positive thinking is not delusion. It's not pretending bad things don't happen. You work. It's the choice to believe that no matter what happens, you still have control over how you respond. That's the power most people never use. The power of perspective. You work. You can take the same situation and either be crushed by it or be carved into something stronger by it. The difference lies not in the situation but in the story you tell yourself about it. Start by watching your words. The language you use programs your beliefs. If you constantly say, "I can't do this," or "nothing ever works out," your mind accepts those phrases as commands. But if you speak with purpose, "I will find a way. Every challenge is training me. This situation is temporary, but my power is permanent," then your mind obeys that command instead. Speak what you want to happen, not what you fear will happen. You work. Your environment also plays a vital role in your ability to stay positive. Surround yourself with energy that uplifts, not drags you down. Be mindful of what you listen to, what you read, and who you talk to. If you allow negative influences to dominate your surroundings, it becomes much harder to maintain inner strength. But if you fill your mind with stories of triumph, wisdom, growth, and gratitude, you work. You begin to see the world through a different lens, one that is focused on solutions, not setbacks. The greatest achievers in history were not born with easier lives. They simply chose to control their focus. They trained themselves to see the hidden benefit in every obstacle. They forced themselves to stay hopeful, even when surrounded by defeat. That is what made them rise. And you must do the same. When you commit to staying positive, even when it feels unnatural or difficult, you are rewiring your entire life. You are becoming the person who can handle more, create more, lead, and live more. So never leave your mindset to chance. Take ownership of it. Direct it. Command it. Every time your thoughts drift toward fear, pull them back toward faith. Every time doubt creeps in, replace it with determination. And every time you feel tempted to give up, remind yourself your breakthrough is always one positive thought away. While the ability to stay positive is not a personality trait, it is a learned discipline, a deliberate commitment. While they work, and a mental strategy used by those who intend to master their circumstances rather than be mastered by them. When you make the decision to force yourself to always stay positive, you are declaring war on the forces that seek to keep you small, afraid, and reactive. While you are deciding that no matter what external chaos may surround you, your internal environment will remain one of control, faith, and unwavering strength. The truth is, life will never present a perfect set of conditions. There will always be something you could complain about, something that didn't go your way. You work, someone who didn't treat you fairly. But if you live your life reacting to what is outside of you, then your power belongs to everyone and everything but you. Positivity takes that power back. It says, I choose how I think. I choose how I feel. I choose what meaning I give to every moment of my life. Every adversity is a doorway to greatness for the person who trains their mind to see it that way. When you stay positive in a negative situation, you don't just endure it. You transform it. You rise above it. You turn pain into purpose. You work. That's not something most people are willing to do because it's not easy. It takes mental toughness to smile when you feel like breaking down. You work. It takes inner clarity to remain hopeful when everything looks like it's falling apart. But that's exactly why it's powerful. You work. Because only those who are disciplined enough to think positively in the fire become strong enough to walk through it untouched. And let's be clear. Forcing yourself to stay positive is not about pretending. It's about choosing focus. Focus creates feeling. What you focus on expands. Focus on what you lack, and you'll feel defeated. Focus on what you can do, and you'll feel empowered. You work. That's why gratitude is so powerful. It's not about ignoring struggle. It's about acknowledging progress. It's about saying, yes, this is hard. Watch you work, but I'm harder. Yes, I've fallen, but I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I'm still fighting. The mind like a muscle. You work. Become stronger the more you train it to move in the direction of your goals instead of your fears. And positivity is the barbell. While they watch you work, every time you choose to replace a complaint with a commitment, you are lifting that weight. Every time you stop yourself from speaking defeat and instead declare victory, you are getting stronger. Every time you say, I can, I will, I must, even when nothing around you supports that belief, you are becoming unstoppable. So make no mistake, positivity is not weakness. It is not softness. It is the shield of the warrior. It is the fuel of the leader. It is the secret weapon of the one who refuses to quit. Train yourself to think this way every day. You work, and there will come a time when no external force can shake your internal peace. That is when you become unbreakable. Every person walking the path of greatness must one day confront this truth. The real battle is not out there in the world. It is within the mind. You work. The true enemy is not your competition, not your circumstances, not even your failures. It is the voice that tells you to give up, to settle, to doubt. And the only weapon powerful enough to silence that voice is a disciplined, positive mind. That is why you must force yourself, relentlessly and repeatedly, to always stay positive, because the strength to rise does not come from outside approval. It is born within through mental resilience. You work. When life strikes you with setbacks, your instinct may be to question everything. Why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? Will I ever get through it? These thoughts seem innocent, but they are dangerous. You work. They are the first cracks in the foundation of your belief. And if you don't seal those cracks with positive thought, the entire structure of your mindset begins to collapse. Positivity is the cement that reinforces your mental walls against doubt, fear, and despair. Think about the greatest leaders, inventors, creators, and pioneers. They all faced criticism. They all encountered failure. You work. They all had moments where quitting seemed easier than continuing. But they endured, not because they had perfect lives, but because they trained their minds to focus on the solution, not the problem, on the outcome, not the obstacle. That same ability lives within you. Work, but it must be activated through choice. Daily, consciously, powerfully. Your environment may not always be in your control. Well, they work, but your reaction to that environment always is. This is where most people go wrong. They wait for circumstances to improve before they allow themselves to feel empowered. But the secret is, your internal state must lead your external progress. If you want to see results in your life, you must be the source of those results. Starting with your thoughts, positive thinking unlocks creativity, fuels energy, and increases resilience. When your mind is focused on possibilities, it starts seeing opportunities that negativity would have hidden. While they watch you work, it doesn't mean you'll never fail, but it means failure won't stop you. You work, and that alone puts you in a rare class of individuals, those who persist when others fold, those who move forward when others retreat, those who say ayes to life even when it has said no to them. The decision to stay positive must be renewed every day. You must wake up and declare it. You must remind yourself during moments of stress, of fear, of fatigue. You must speak power into your mind until it becomes your new default. That doesn't mean you won't feel negative emotions. It means those emotions no longer control your actions. You feel the fear and you move forward anyway. You acknowledge the doubt and still choose faith. You hear the noise of defeat and answer back with the silence of unstoppable will. This is what separates winners from wishers. Not just the ability to dream, but the courage to protect that dream with unbreakable positivity. There will be times in your journey when the world around you feels like it's collapsing, when nothing seems to go right, when your progress feels invisible. You work when your energy is drained and your faith is low. These are the moments that separate those who merely desire success from those who are destined to claim it. And in these moments, there is only one mindset that will carry you forward, the mindset of unwavering, unshakable, self-imposed positivity. Not a fleeting feeling, not blind optimism, but a deliberate, forceful decision to believe in the light, even while standing in the dark. While they watch, staying positive isn't about being naive. It's about being strategic. It's understanding that your mind becomes your most powerful ally or your most dangerous enemy depending on what you feed it. You can't control every event, every loss, or every delay, but you can always control what those events mean to you. That meaning is what gives you energy, or takes it. You work. That meaning is what inspires growth, or guarantees stagnation. When you choose to stay positive, you are choosing to assign new empowerment to every experience. While they watch, even the painful ones, you must make a habit of asking yourself in hard times, what is this teaching me? How is this preparing me? How can I use this? These are the questions of a positive mind. You work. These are the questions that lift you out of despair and place you back into a position of power. Every challenge contains a lesson. Every delay contains a redirection. Every struggle hides a strength. But only the positive mind will have the clarity to see it and the faith to act on it. Make no mistake. This isn't about putting on a fake smile or pretending everything is fine. It's about fighting for your perspective. It's about mastering the art of emotional self-leadership. Anyone can be positive when life gives them reasons. But the elite, the unbreakable, the unstoppable, they create their own reasons. They do not wait to feel hope. They speak hope into existence. They do not wait for inspiration. They become the source of it. You must talk to yourself more than you listen to yourself. When your emotions rise up with fear, anxiety, or negativity, your job is to speak louder, to declare truth over feelings, to remind yourself of your purpose, your progress, and your power. Work, because feelings are temporary, but mindset is permanent when trained daily. And that's what positivity is, a trained, you work, battle-tested mindset that does not fold under pressure. Each day, you are shaping your future with your thoughts. You are either reinforcing limitation or reinforcing possibility. And if you truly want to live a life of greatness, service, wealth, fulfillment, and legacy, then your thoughts must match that vision. Your energy must reflect that outcome. Your attitude must declare, I am not a victim of life. I am the creator of it. That declaration, backed by daily, disciplined positivity, becomes the foundation of an unshakable life, one that inspires others, one that endures, one that wins.